start off by asking, what sustainable innovation are you most excited about, or do you think has the biggest opportunity?
Good question, because at Panonica we rely on nature to produce our brands, and if an ecosystem is not well functioning, we do not have enough ingredient to produce our famous brands. So innovation for us, it's more about how to mitigate risks and maximize positive impact. So it's not a matter of breakthrough in this innovation, but more about how to regenerate the land, regenerate people as well. We consider regenerative agriculture as the holistic approach that take into account biodiversity, ecosystem and well-functioning ecosystems, but also climate change. We want to decrease our impact on climate change and increase the resilience of our terroirs. And in the middle, in the center of this journey, we have people and well-being for communities. So it's not only a matter of technologies and how to address specific risks, but to consider the whole system by addressing maybe more social innovations. When we consider the targets, the climate change, biodiversity collapse, and everything we have to reverse, the main challenge for us is the mindset of farmers,
Really?
How to support the risk that they take if they change slightly practices. It's a huge risk for some of them when it comes to yields, and when it comes to adaptation to climate change, we need to change slightly practices. But it's how to implement more diversity in the farm, how to implement cover crops, how to implement organic matter content. So it's not really a breakthrough innovation, but it's a big change. How you change the mindset, how you help the farmer to take the risk. This is the main space for us when it comes to innovation.
That's very interesting. And so how do you actually help farmers sort of make that change? Does it require subsidy, government subsidy, or is it about showcasing farmers who have made that change and the success that they're having?
It's I think we have two levers. Of course, we have government and how to influence and to support good practices. And maybe it's a matter of re-establishing the right and the fair value of the product when we buy a product, maybe reconsidering subsidy allocations to the good products, the products that generate positive impacts, more than the ones that put more pressures on people and on the planet. So yes, government have a big impact in this space to allocate subsidies. And for a company, it's a big responsibility as well to drive this change, thanks to fair prices. If we consider to pay the right level of price for a given raw material, it's a way to support the transition.
So you mentioned some policies there. If you could implement one policy that would help us to achieve global sustainability, what would it be and why?
As I said, it's how to select the best practices in the regenerative agriculture space to influence and to develop big investments at government level, for example, or maybe worldwide. How to engage in a new R&D program worldwide to discover maybe new solutions, new varieties resistant to climate change, to water scarcity. So maybe investing more in this space worldwide in terms of research and in terms of allocation, how to ensure that maybe we tax the products that damage people and planet, to incentivize or to pay the right amount of price for the products that have a positive impact.
And who can have the most impact there? Is it national governments in terms of that kind of tax, or is it EU level?
I think it's both, because we need all the resources as possible. The challenge is too huge.
And so how about in terms of when you think about regenerative agriculture and the efforts and how it can support protection of biodiversity. How do you think about tracking progress on those goals?
This is a key element when it comes to regenerative agriculture. It's how we ensure that we follow the right direction. If we change a farming system by implementing new practices, we need to consider indicators to measure impacts. Impacts on organic carbon content in soil, for example, impacts on biodiversity. If there are any positive impacts on attracting more functional biodiversity, is there any positive impacts in diversifying soil biodiversity? So we need indicators, and we need tools as well to track progress and ensure that because for Pernod Ricard, we try to identify big impact areas on climate change, on water, on biodiversity, on well-being for communities, and on profitability for farmers. So how to ensure that this new system feed these impact areas. And I think tracking impact with indicators and tools is essential.
So how can businesses ensure that they rely on regenerative agricultural products when sourcing their products?
It's a really good question, because today there is no international scheme or standard or certification to ensure that we source regenerative ingredients. So what we do is always to start by traceability and transparency on practices. So we map all our supply chains and we assess all the risks, social and environmental risks within our supply chains. And then it's a tailor-made approach. So we design local schemes with farmers to ensure that we reach the same goal regarding regenerative agriculture. And then we translate this scheme into contract, long-term contract with key elements. We agree on key elements, and we try to project and to forecast volumes to increase our volumes under regenerative agriculture.
Excellent. Well, Morgane, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining us at this sustainability project.
Thank you.